You're going live. All right, we are live. Thank you everyone for joining us. Let's give you a few minutes. We'll be starting our introductory. We are live on Facebook. Hello everyone from Facebook. This is JB, one of the Dill Dragons, my lovely wife, Rebecca. Just trying to get a hold of our guest speaker.
They're coming. So good morning, everyone. We're just gonna go ahead and get started. It's 7 o'clock. And just wanna welcome all of you for day three. And so just a recap for day one, it was about creating your sacred space and also creating a clear intention of what you want when you connect with your guides. And the sacred space being, there was a picture of, in the event page, you see that picture of the girl on the cliff. And I was just sharing how that's my sacred space whenever I go into meditation, or if I need to just kind of like step away for a minute and just, also it's my way of calling for protection. And that's what we're going to be covering today. Okay. So my sacred space has multi-uses when it comes to receiving, when it comes to protecting, and when it comes to just stepping away for a moment, and just, getting the blessings from my guides. And then for day two, it was about practicing that unconditional loving practice with yourself, how to relax and breathe when you are connecting, and also staying within that realm of relaxed enough to still be very aware of what's going around you, but not to the point where you're ready to snooze and just take a nap and just disappear for an hour or two. So just staying between that realm to be able to have those messages be brought in clear and for you to be aware enough of what messages you receive. And so today, it's not letting me. Okay, perfect. So for just a little introduction of ourselves, we are Dual Dragons. Like my husband said, he is JB and I'm Rebecca. We are both holistic wellness consultants, also known as the Muscle Whisperers. And we both have a special training, which is called neuromuscular therapy, but that's not our main specialty. We also have a tool belt with many tools that we use. I am certified in Reiki, chakra aligning, Qigong, pregnancy massage, baby massage, aromatherapy, energy work. My husband as well, he has many certifications and trainings. He also does the bar lines and hypnosis. And so with all our tools plus our natural gifts that we were both born with, I'm able to, when I touch my clients, I'm able to feel everything you are feeling. If you have a headache, I will feel it. If you're nauseous, I will feel it. And my husband is a little different. He gets visions, he gets sensations. And so when we work together, we make this beautiful complementary session for our clients, whatever they need at the moment, whatever messages they need to receive at the moment. And like I mentioned yesterday, I know from a series of other healers that I've been in contact with and done sessions with them, I've been able to tap in a little bit into my past lives. And yesterday I mentioned that I am aware that in one of my past lives, I was a doctor. And it kind of like made me aware why I work the way I work, because I'm also very in tuned like a doctor to be able to read symptoms and figure out what it could possibly be. I'm not a doctor, but most of the time I've been like 99%, almost 100% accurate when it comes to when I know something is off, especially when it involves the heart, the thyroid. I've had special cases with clients where I send them directly to see their doctor or to the hospital because I just got an overwhelming knowledge that something was wrong in that area. And sure enough, they got the treatment that they needed to be able to avoid a major heart attack or any other major issues coming about that were about to come. And so that's another specialty of mine. And so I treat, when it comes to my experience, when I'm treating our clients, sometimes I get that sensation almost like even when I do energetic work or I'm giving messages, I treat it almost like if they have an IV drip. I'm connected to them. I'm like an IV. I'm also the IV, the package is, I'm connected to my higher source. They are providing the skills or the knowledge I need to be able to give them either the drip in a low dose, medium dose, full dose. So that's how I treat the clients. And like my husband, he's a little different. He loves to spill the beans and open Pandora's box or even push the button. And so
Definitely. We're not saying that we're the best at doing this in particular. Like even myself, like my wife said, I have a habit of giving the full dose all the time. So it's something I am even growing to be aware that the messages I receive through my guides or the guides of the client that we're working on or whatever higher self is telling me, sometimes that message, if you don't recognize, is just for you to tune your vibration, to adjust your wisdom or perception slightly where you can best address or give the best service or session for the person that's in front of you. Even if it's just a conversation, sometimes you don't have to touch them. In our cases where we're trained to do more of a physical aspect with the neuromuscular and different types of massage and touching techniques, sometimes I just get guided just to place my hand in a certain area and just kind of sense the energy blockage, which then say, hey, this is something that Rebecca has to do. If it's like a female client, there's certain areas, yes, I'm trained professionally to address them and I can do it, but recognizing that the client or the higher self, it's best if a feminine touch or a feminine, like my wife, hence why we work together. We recognize that this area is asking for your energy or for your attention, and we dance together as we address it. And sometimes rather than, but I can do it, I'm letting my ego guide me, I'm allowing myself to listen to that whisper or the guidance that, okay, I need to adjust myself. This message not for me to spill the beans and just flood them with all this information, even though they're in front of us because they're ready. But really, how do we serve it to them so that they truly get the best message possible so that they actually could do something with it and help them in their journey?
and so with that, how do you call for protection, and produce sacred sound? So I was talking a lot about how we treat our clients because I use this a lot to call for protection. There are moments where we will be working on clients, and if I'm not careful also, I will immerse myself too much into their symptoms. If it's a headache and I let it, like initially I will feel the headache and I have to make it aware right away. And then right away I have to call for that protection. Like, this is not mine. I could release it now. Thank you for making me aware that they are experiencing this symptom, but it's not my symptom. And now it's time for it to be removed. If I don't do that right away, and if I, just let it linger in there, it gets to the point where I'm having a full-blown headache, or I will be having their full-blown symptoms if I don't do this. And at the beginning, when I first started learning about my gift, I didn't have it that fine-tuned to the point where I would become physically sick, so I had to really protect myself to not let that happen and fine tune and build those skills to do that. And so this is very important. I feel like as healers, this is something very important for everyone to very fine tune, especially during this time. What is your energy bubble that you surround yourself with? What do you visualize? How do you do it? And also at the same time, sorry about that, it's trash day. How do you protect yourself from the environment from you? Right now, our environment, um, from my experience, this is what I've been feeling lately and my knowledge. I feel like a lot of us are becoming too divided. You know, we have the political, we have about the way we treat each other when it comes to race. We have a lot of things going on with the COVID, not being able to see our loved ones. Holidays are coming up, and not being able to gather and enjoy Thanksgiving like every year. You know, the traditions are being kind of shifted and adjusted. And so with that comes a lot of your environment all of a sudden feeling a little negative. Uh, sorry about that. Hopefully they'll be gone soon. A little negative, a little too much, people feeling overwhelmed. So how do you protect yourself from all that? How do you find ways to say, you know what, I'm aware of what's going around me, and how do you detach from that? And I like to use the word detach because that has been, for me, in my experience, my savior from a lot of situations where situations come up and it's not mine to deal with, you know. And sometimes I've been in situations where it comes to me very hostile. How do I detach from that? How do I remove myself from that, you know? And so, and then again, how do you prepare your sacred sounds? There's many people that will use chanting. They will use the they will do a certain tone, you know. And what chant do you use? I personally don't chant. But I what I do is I'll hear whatever sounds are around me and use those sounds as a way of a vibration that I'm receiving. You know, usually when I will work on clients, if there happens to be a beautiful breeze just come in, I will use that. I will take that moment, even though I'm working and I feel it, I will take that moment to just kind of like and receive it and say thank you, because I know those are my guides sending me what I need. You know, it just happens to be I happen to be hot at that moment. I'm starting to feel hot because I'm producing all this energy as I'm working, and I start feeling this heat in my body, and then all of a sudden that breeze will come right in, and I'll just be like, thank you guys. That I feel so much better. Thank you. So it's their way of protecting me. And so those are my sacred sounds. The sound of the wind, the sound of while I'm working, if I hear a certain music or a certain tone, and whatever music happens to come up, and I'll use that. But I personally do not chant. I'm a very quiet worker. Most of the time, I will be very, very quiet. Um, my husband's the one that likes to make all the noise. And I love him for that. And I'll use his also as a vibrational tone. Yeah. So
Definitely, like my recollection when I first started being aware of my gifts, it was like I was maybe one or two, and for some reason I had this weird visualization of the energy of my mother, and I just placed my hand on her, and I could see how the energy was almost being absorbed off her back, off her head, and then to my arms. And at that time, I didn't know any better, so I thought I had to hold it on. Wasn't aware about putting the protective bubble or letting it go. So for a while, I thought that's what I had to do, and maybe a shower or walking barefooted on the grass helped me kind of felt better, and that's what I did. That was my process. I pulled the discomfort energy from those I was working on, I held on to it until I found a place to properly let it go. And of course, throughout time, that did not allow me to work for long or got me sick for some reason until I learned that, okay, there is a reason to have a protective shield. And it's not so much of a fortress where nothing goes in and out. It's more of a force field to, with your intention, that force field of protective energy allows you to bring whatever energy or vibration into your space so that you could function, for you to be better connected or have a clearer understanding for you to connect. Some of the vibrations are, I prefer loud music or chanting myself. Sometimes randomly I start chanting, I hear a tone and I do my best to vocalize it and trying to match that vibration until I had this unusual sensation, almost like an explosion of fireworks on each chakra, or depending, maybe there's one chakra energy source in my body that needs attention, and I hear this vibration or song kind of hits that certain vibration, and I either sing with it or chant with it, and I match it, and this discomfort or pain or this weird sensation in my body almost melts away. It almost like cancels each other out, and it's a beautiful experience. And there's not one more important than the other. That's why we are creating this to bring your awareness this specific point, other than first create your sacred space with intention. For me, the greatest memory is when I went skydiving. All the noises, all the distraction, everything disappeared for those 30 seconds to a minute when I'm just free falling, not knowing or caring if the chute would open or not, and was able to be present with myself, present with my heart, with my breathing, with the sensation of this wonderful wind just kind of blowing at me until obviously the chute open. That's my sacred space that I usually refer to, or depending, as me and my wife, we work together sometimes where we do our maintenance Monday on each other. She brings me into her white space, and sometimes I bring her and hers into mine to kind of help each other, gifting each other. This is the vibration of each other to really find balance, to maybe have it create a different sacred sound for us to either cleanse, clear whatever is sticking to us, to allow us to have that clearer sound.
Okay. And I was just checking on time. So what I would like to do is just go ahead and go into a guided meditation. And for this meditation, again, I want you to use what we've learned so far. First, set that sacred space. I want everyone right now to just sit nicely, lay down, however you feel more comfortable. Take a couple of deep breaths. And as you're breathing, I want everyone to just kind of like go to that sacred space first, whatever space that you have developed for yourself. And also ask for whatever intention you want, whether it be for personal healing, personal awareness. What is your intention for today? And as you're breathing and relaxing, I want you to surround yourself with that beautiful white light of protection. And that beautiful white light is your unconditional love for yourself. Practice that love. Practice what we tend to do for others, show them love, unconditional love. Practice that for yourself. Have that mirror vision of yourself sitting right in front of you and just surround yourself. Also, a good practice is, instead of having your adult version of you in front of you, bring out your child. Have your little self in front of you. There's so much healing that needs to come when it comes to your inner child. Those are our first experiences as we were born, as we are growing up. Whatever traumatic experience we had as a child, there were lessons, but your inner child still carries them with an innocence of, why did I get hurt? and they still are sad. So it's up to us to bring out that inner child and let them know it's okay. We can release that now. We are protected. We are breathing. We are okay. We are blessed. And I have all this love for myself here for you too. Continue breathing. What sounds are you hearing at the moment? As I'm meditating here, I'm hearing all these beautiful sounds of the birds right outside my doorway, chirping away. I could hear my water filter next to me making this vibration. Surround yourself with whatever sounds are around you and use those as a form to receive that vibration, as a form of healing. Take a couple of breaths again. Nice deep belly breath. Your second deep belly breath, I want you to inhale and hold it for 10 seconds. Exhale it. One more deep breath. And slowly start coming back. Take your time to slowly come back. As you open your eyes, if you received any message or any vision, make sure to jot it down. Make sure to be taking notes during these days of anything that comes up, any sensation that came up in your body, any, that little voice sometimes will say something and you're not sure what it's talking about. Just write it down. Don't try to analyze it. Leave it aside. And there will be a moment when you go back to your notes and then you will have that moment of, oh, that's what that was about. Now I get it. So today we're going to be talking about a little bit more of sharing experiences. But I wanted to take opportunity, my guest speaker, just to explain, my day 3 guest speaker, he is always traveling. He's on the road. And he was hoping that wherever he was at this moment, Izzy, would be able to connect to Wi-Fi. And so he was late last night when he was able to connect for a moment, apologize that where he's at the moment, there's no Wi-Fi. He's out in the forest at the moment, and they do a lot of healing sessions where they meet up in different areas, and sometimes it's mainly campgrounds. And so he was hoping to be able to connect with everyone today, but he sends his apologies. But I also want, just to share a little bit of him. He's a magnetic designer, and he makes these beautiful magnetic vibrations that you could wear for healing purposes, for protection. I wanted to share his information. He also does a lot of sound therapy. I did share a short video that he's posted of him playing his instrument. And so they do a lot of healing and a lot of teaching for people. And he just travels all over. He's always all over the place. And so I just wanted to share his information. His information will be posted, and hopefully we could connect soon. But for stepping in for today, we have Michael and Alice. I reached out, JB was like, so who are we going to have? Who are we gonna? And I said, you know what, I'm just going to put it out there on my page, and whoever responds will be the one. And sure enough, I had you in mind, Michael. It was funny. You reached out. I thought about you guys, and I'm like, if they can, they'll let me know. So right away, once you let me know, I made sure to get up early to make your page, and here you guys are. Beautiful. And it was funny as I'm typing in, I'm like, oh, vibrational practitioners, perfect. And that's exactly what we need for today. And so thank you for stepping in. And I will go again. This information is on our page. It's also posted on the events page. I made sure to post it on Meetup also, and I'll make sure to include your information again on the Healers Round page. So for now, let me go ahead and stop sharing. Let me exit out of here. Let me go here. Perfect. And go. Are they able to mute, JB? Are they on?
Okay. We're good. Great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for this. And wow, I'm sure Izzy's going to watch the replay. Izzy, there's no way that what we do could measure up to I'm sure the beautiful sounds, because we're kind of opposite. And I was listening to Rebecca when she says that her husband's usually the one that makes different sounds and that she's more quiet. And here at Samadhi, again, I am Alice and Michael with Samadhi Sea of Wisdom Meditation School in Yuma, Arizona. And we have such an approach that maybe a lot of people don't think it's a lot of fun, right? How do you work with your guides? How do you connect? And with us, most of the time, it's silence, except when we convey the message, then we do need to talk. So I'll have Michael explain and share some of our experiences.
Vibrillionaire Soul Green, Soul Blessings. As I love to say, beautiful Vibrillionaire Soul family, because it is a family of vibrations. And that's why we label vibrational practitioners, because at the end of the day, it's about mastering living in the vibrational field of awareness. And like Ali said, that we are Samadhi Sea of Wisdom Meditation School, where I love to give a little quick intro to our school, which we say every day. Here at Samadhi and in life in general, it's never only about positivity. It's never only about negativity. It's about something much more deep, something much more substantial, something much more effectual, something much more real, something much more raw, something much more genuine. And that something is you. The real you were born, designed, and destined to be. And the biggest secret of all is the real you that you are right now. You already are doing that being that vibrational master, that vibrational leader, director of your life. And that's what Ali and I love to remind humanity is how can you take the wheel of your life? How can you take the remote control of your movie, of what you are living, what you are watching in your life, and transform your life from the inside out? Not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Because where you are happening is inside of you. Every decision that you make is inside you. And before we begin, first of all, I'd like to thank Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca, for allowing this honor for us to be here. Thank you for every one of you that are here, as you are here for you. Because what I love that Rebecca does is she called it the Healers Roundtable. And I love that Rebecca is here to just, share awareness for people to be their own healers, to awaken to the life that they were born and destined to live. And every single guest that has come on here, I mean, I've been transformed. And especially yesterday, I was just humbled. And I love the life of humbleness, like Sterling said on Monday. Sterling is a very humble individual, and I love humbleness. Sometimes I get a little too excited. I won't deny it. But humbleness, I love being humbled every day. But more importantly, I love humbling myself. Because when you can humble yourself, that is a game changer. But when you're humbled, sometimes it's not so beautiful, right? But the word about connecting with your guides, I really want to talk about is responsibility. Because the truth of the matter is, and usually we start with taking a breath, but thank you for that beautiful meditation, Rebecca, because you've already set the tonager of getting out of our own way. Because how do we connect with our guides? By getting out of our own way. When we think we know what we know, we're only going to operate from the past. We're going to be guided and directed from the past. And that's where confusion sets in. But when you're guided from within, the side effect is awareness. And the key to being guided from within is surrendering. Surrendering. Because we live in a world where we think we know it all. And even if somebody says, well, I don't really know as much as you do, Michael, or as much as you do, Ali. It's the thing about it is we're all the same. And we can go in a whole nother class about that, on a whole nother direction about that. But the thing about it is we're always being guided. And my question is, are you being guided from outside of you, or are you being guided from within you? Because if you're being guided from outside of you, you're not going to live an unknown, unfamiliar, beautiful, magical life. If you're guided around from without, if you're guided from without, from your environment outside of you, you're always going to live a familiar life. You're always going to live a known life from your physical senses. And I don't want to live a known life. I want to live an unknown, beautiful, magical, like mysterious life where every day is a mystery, every day is a journey, every day is a journey of self-discovery, of self-realization, of self-involvement. And the thing about it is, as I was thinking, pondering, meditating on what we wanted to talk about today, because everybody is being guided from the level of conscious maturity that they are at. So there's nothing wrong with however you're being guided. Let me just say that first and foremost. Whatever works for you, whether it's music, whether it's
Dance.
dance, whether it's, tangible, like you need to touch something, you need to see something, you need to hear something,
Or smell something.
or smell something. I mean, we all have our own ways of how we internalize vibration. And I love that you shared that, Rebecca, when we were meditating. You said, what sounds do you hear? Because there's a language of dimensionality in what we see. And if you don't believe me, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to ask yourself how this makes sense. Is what you see one day going to cause so much excitement and joy, but another day that you see something else that causes so much pain and misery? This is a language. And it's an interpretation of how you see yourself. So the more you mature your conscious awareness of you, your conscious relationship of you, the more positive and negative are going to be matured. Because that's why we say it's not about positivity, it's not about negativity, because really it's about like taking information. Either you're listening to the outside, that's usually all the time. I mean, I'm going to be honest, negativity. Because if you're listening from within you, I mean, not talking about the brain, talking about in your heart. If you're listening in your heart, you cannot like sense negativity. I'm going to repeat that again. If you're listening to your heart, because your heart is unconditional love, it doesn't judge. It transforms all the energy that comes from a denser place, and it transforms it into cellular energies. And it takes cellular energies and it transforms it into dense reality. So you can take in this awareness and bring it in. When you create something, when you draw something, you're being guided from within. You're bringing it outside. But if you're being guided from without, you're taking that in. You're taking that in and you're transforming it to cellular energies, because that's how the soul also evolves. So without going too much in depth, I want to talk about how the majority are, and you're looking at all around you. You're looking all around you, and not a coincidence that today is, election day. So many people are being guided from without. So many people are depending on the next president. And I don't get into politics, as you know me, Rebecca. You know us. We don't get into any religion, politics, because what we desire to do is assist humanity to awaken the life that's happening inside of them. When you can awaken the life that's happening inside of you, I don't got to teach you how to be kind. I don't got to teach you how to be loving. I don't got to teach you how to be compassionate. As you connect to the life within you, it is a side effect that is what's born, or not born, because it's already there, but words, they're so, but when you're guided from within, when you,
Unfoldment, revealed,
unfoldment, yeah. When it's unfolded from within out, you are, the human that you were born to be. But when you're taking guidance from without, then you become a human, and then you feel bad because you do things that you don't know why you do them, and you act ways that you don't want to act. This is guidance. When we talk about being guided, the majority of humanity is being guided from outside of them. They're taking information and they're waiting to know who they are by what somebody thinks, how something happens around them. And it's not a coincidence, as I love to share about micro macro. What micro macro means or represents to me is what's in the micro is in the small, is in the enormous, is in the ginormous. And what's in the ginormous is in the small. For example, you think you're one person, but you're really a collective of intelligent beings, which is cells. And you go deeper in that, and you go to your DNA, and you go to molecules, and you go to atoms. Every single atom is an intelligent being. Every single molecule of you knows what to do. That is guidance from within. If we were to listen to that guidance, we have the greatest guidance system inside of us. So when we can surrender to that guidance, every single part of us is already awakened. We don't need a cell to know what to do. It knows what to do. But of course, when we take guidance from outside, we tell that cell what to do. For example, I take guidance from outside of me. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready enough. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm not, whatever. I'm too bad or whatever. And it's like the cells listen. They're listening to you. This is how we create dis-ease in the body. But when you listen to you, you create ease in the body. So our guidance comes from different places. Our guidance comes from the body, and also, the food that we take. Food is also guidance. So depending on the food that you eat is the kind of guidance you're going to receive. If you eat denser foods, you're going to receive denser guidance. If you receive more subtler foods, you're going to receive more light or energy or vibrational guidance instead of material, dense matter. So the next step is receiving guidance from the body. How does your body feel? Like right now, I'm in pain in my lower back. It's a sensation in my lower back, but it's guidance telling me how to take care of myself. It's guidance from me telling me there's which you getting into that, Rebecca, but there's guidance on the lower part of the back that resembles certain communication. So the body gives us guidance. And if you guys want to know more, the experts are Rebecca and JB. So, and many guest speakers, you go back to those 7 days in October, and you go back to the 2 days that just happened, there's guides like Sterling. I don't know. Yes, you did say you are a coach. There's guides like Sterling that can help you. There's guides like Ellen yesterday that can help you. I mean, this is an advantage that I didn't have 20 years ago. We have so much plethora of people that are willing to serve and love you where you're at. Take advantage of it. The next guidance is our environment. Like I said, the environment outside of you is guiding you. And this is where I want to step in with the micro macro, is when the trash came and picked up the trash when Rebecca was talking. That's a great guidance that's letting us know that there's things in place that want to get rid of our garbage. And in this sense, it's not garbage, it's just data. It's just information. But if you judge it, it becomes garbage. That's why we say it's never about positivity or negativity. But anyways, let's move forward. Let's move inward. When we see the trash come and pick up our trash, we don't say, no, 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 please, please, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Please don't take my trash. I want to keep my trash. I guarantee you, if you do that for a month, your home is going to stink. Nobody's going to want to come visit you. It's going to reflect in your environment. So just like we don't tell the trash pickup guy that we're not worthy enough, why do we say that inside of our own heads? Why do we say that with the people around us? We will, and I'm not talking about, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But I'm here to serve people that don't know what they don't know. If you already know this, just take it and see where it goes. But for those of you that don't know, is that we are to be experts at letting go. That is the enlightenment stage. Enlightenment is not attainment. It's not about how much can I get? How much can I get? We all want to get. We all want to get. And it's created this instant gratification addiction. As long as something makes me feel good, I'll take it. But when something doesn't feel good, we don't want to take it. And it's usually what doesn't feel good is what's asking us to be let go, just like the trash.
Oh. And for some reason, when we practice this with our students, the challenging part sometimes is in the letting go. And how do you explain that to someone? Here we're speaking to other healers and you have your methods. I see Patty Mays and I love her methods. And I remember part of it, Poppins, where you change your position within yourself, even to see yourself in another perspective.
Yes.
And when Michael and I work with our students, some of them come to us totally in a place of darkness. Most of our students come to us when they've done everything and anything and they don't know what else to do. And they'll give us a list of workshops, books. I did this, I did that, I went here, I went there, and I don't know what to do. And I can't get either rid of this addiction or anger or whatever it is that they're dealing with. And so sometimes we seem like we're not the bearers of great news because we've been programmed to believe that darkness or that those moments that are not so great is doom. It's like, okay, well, it's so uncomfortable. But that's part of life. We need to be able to see that side of us as well. What does that darkness that people say about us? How is it guiding us to ourselves? And that's what we do love what we do, but we tell our students it may not be pretty in the beginning, may not be very, some of them, maybe it's not the right timing. They feel like it is, but, how do I let go? And the way to let go more than anything is in your silence, is go within and just use the silence. So I'll go ahead and let Michael take it from there.
Thank you, love. Yeah, because I desire to take it in stages. Because if we go straight to the silence, not a lot of people can handle the silence. So you baby step your way in there. But the reason why we teach silence, because that is the ultimate way of self-mastery. That is the ultimate way of deep surrender. If you're not silent, you're still trying to control your environment. And if you're still trying to control your environment is going to control you. I'm going to repeat that again. If you're still trying to control your environment, then that means your environment, you're relying on your environment to tell you who you are. But if you can be, what is that word? Unprejudiced or non-judgmental of waiting for your environment to be what you want, and you create your environment, because here's the thing, and this is where I was getting at. You can control your environment within you, but you can't control, like the majority of the time, what happens around you. You can once you master more of yourself. This is the great benefit of, like I said, I have a quote that I say, in order to be truly selfless, one must be truly selfish. And it doesn't make sense for a lot of people until we explain it. But in order to be truly selfish, you got to put yourself first. It's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. And today, coming on these lives, coming on the 7 days with Rebecca, is putting yourself first. You could be doing anything. You could be watching a show right now. You could be watching the news, which I highly don't recommend. No judgment, right? It served its purpose, but it no longer serves, in my world, my purpose. So you need to ask yourself that question: what serves you in your world? So the next stage I want to take it to, that's where I was talking about the trash truck, is your environment. Is the environment that you live in dictated by external conditions, or is it dictated by your internal conditions? Excuse us, that was our computer. So if your environment is dictated by internal conditions, you're going to realize that you can live joyful all day. And when things hit, you're not depending on that to be your savior. Because at the same time we depend on things to be our savior, we unconsciously want an excuse to play the victim. So when you can awaken to the environment inside of you, you're going to create an environment, and others are going to think you're crazy. Others are going to think there's something wrong with you. But because you create your environment from inside of you, you're not going to be puppeteered by the seasons of life. I mean, there are seasons. We cannot escape or deny the seasons of life. It just is that way. There's physical seasons, and there's mental seasons, and there's even physical seasons. That's why we have chakras. Those are the seasons of the body. And according to those seasons are the elements or the temperaments that affect you in your life. So anyways, environment, inside and out. What are you relying in life? Are you relying on your external environment to find peace, to find joy, to find love? If you are, you're gambling with life. And you might hit that, I don't even remember the terms anymore because I used to gamble a lot. But there's a term when you hit that and you're like, yay, I got it. I forgot what it's called. Anybody know?
When you roll the dice and you hit something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jackpot?
Jackpot? No, it's another, snake eyes. Is it snake eyes? Anyways, I think it's a terminology where you roll it, and once you get that, it's like, that's the one you want, right? And I'm very, very, like, what do you call it? Unseasoned or just
You're out of the game.
Out of the game, because I used to be my life in another life. So are you gambling with your life? Are you waiting to hit that special number, or do you want to create that special number that already exists inside of you and live? That's why we call it the Vibrillient of life. Live the jackpot of your life today. Not wait till tomorrow. Not wait and say, and no judgment, but not wait that if it's going to be this president or that president or this senator or that senator or whatever is in your environment, waiting for something to change in order for you to be happy. Because if you were to meditate in your inner world, you realize you're already happy. You meditate on one cell and you'll realize you're already happy. So the next stage is your environment, inside or outside. The next stage is animal human kingdoms. Okay. So we look at humans and we try to remember who we are through humans. We're told different things and we take data from humans that don't even know who they are. So people like Sterling and people like Patty Myers, people like Rebecca and JB, these are great guides. These are great mirrors that are more conscious because they're doing that inner work. But how many people do we take guidance from because they say they're experts at this, they're experts at that, they don't even know who they are. So we're being unconsciously directed to be more in confusion if we're not listening to people who are living, not just talking the talk, but are living and walking their walk. The next stage is animal. If you look at animals around you, they can teach us more than us humans can teach, to be honest with you. An animal knows who they are. They don't deny, a bird doesn't deny being a bird. A dog doesn't deny being a dog. They know in a sense who they are. But if you analyze a dog's behavior or an animal's behavior in a mirror, they don't know who they are. Because they'll look at themselves and they'll be like, what is that? Or they'll be surprised at their reflection. Because one thing that animals have been given is non-judgmental awareness. The thing that humanity has been given that we've used against ourselves is our intellect. Intellect is not intelligence. So now we're going to go into the next stage, which is the life and the breath that you've been given. When you awaken to the life and the breath that you've been given, you awaken an intelligence that no university, no person in this world can awaken for you. Intelligence is not the intellect. I'm going to repeat that again. Intelligence is not the intellect. Just because you study more or you learn more does not awaken the intelligence within you. It is a stage that will help you awaken the intelligence, but you must get out of your own way so the intelligence can work with the intellect. And this is why Samadhi does what we do. So the next day, and the breath helps a lot. Rebecca explained the breath. And the one key I want to tell you guys with the breath is this. The more you can go throughout your day and slow your breathing down, the more dimensionalities you're going to tap into, the sensitivity. For example, animals are saying a lot. Life is saying a lot around you. But if you're breathing more rapidly, more unconsciously, you're just going to tap in to the density of reality. But when you breathe more consciously, because when you breathe more consciously, you slow your breath down. If you breathe unconsciously, you're breathing faster. So if you can go throughout the day, and what we love to give is the assignment or the homework of 5 breaths 5 times a day. You take these 5 breaths 5 times a day, and you will start awakening a deeper life inside of you. And the one thing, going back to the word responsibility, is taking the ability to respond in your life awakens the sensitivity or the sense activity in your life. There's an activity of sensory that's happening inside of you. So when you can take responsibility, the ability to respond, you awaken the activity of the senses within you that are deeper sensory that will show you the life that you may not be seeing. So the next stage, which is not the last stage, but it is a stage that opens up a deeper sense of you, which is silence, stillness. Silence and stillness. When you can be silent within yourself, when you can take the time to be still, and if you can't be silent, just sit still for 5 minutes. Don't shake your legs. And if you do, just catch yourself and be still. Catch yourself, be still. But when you catch yourself, don't judge yourself. Love yourself in that journey. And then, because when you can be still, when you can practice stillness, you will start to be able to use that stillness to silence and be still in the brain. Because when you can be silent, and this is my last part, when you can be silent in your brain, the brain is designed to serve you. The brain wants to serve you. It is connected to Rebecca, like Rebecca says, your guides. So when you can awaken silence and stillness inside of you, you will listen to the guides that Rebecca talks about. But at the end of the day, all those guides are saying, listen to you, the deepest part of you, because that's where they are all at. We're all one consciousness. And when you can awaken unconditional love within you, you'll be surprised, amazed, and just blown away by a life that you can't even imagine exists for you. So just go back and listen to this and take those stages of guidance, because it's not going straight to the top. It's taking those little bites, those little moments of how to give nutrition to the soul. So the last takeaway, and I would like to read a couple quotes, if I may, Rebecca. Thank you. So before I read these quotes, I want to ask you, are you being guided by confusion, your external reality? Or are you being guided by awareness, surrendering to the reality that you are? And the quotes that I want to read are some amazing quotes that have transformed my life. One is by an amazing genius that was the rebel of reality and awoke in the law of relativity. And he awoke in so many more things if you read his material. It's by Albert Einstein. And he says, the most important decision you'll ever make is whether you decide to live in a universe or in a world or a life that is supportive and friendly, or one that is hostile and unkind. So it's your choice what life you desire to live. Do you want to live in a life where you feel like everything is against you, where everything is unfair? Or do you want to live in a life and even ask yourself how you feel, even ask yourself what you're thinking? Or do you want to live in a life where everything is friendly and supportive, where everything is designed for you, from deep inside of you? Everything has been designed for you and everybody the same, not just for you, but everybody the same. The next quote.
This audio session combines
Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. The next quote is by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. And he says, wisdom is knowing I am nothing. This is the surrender. Wisdom is knowing I am nothing. Love, unconditional love, is knowing I am everything. And between the two, my life moves. And the last one is by Sri Ramana Maharshi. If you hold this feeling of I, long enough and strongly enough, the false I will vanish, leaving only the unbroken awareness of the real I, or consciousness, life itself. And the last quote I'd like to read, this is the last one, is by Samadhi. Meditation. Bringing the essence of who you truly are. Bringing the essence of who you truly are. That's what meditation is designed to do. To bring you, the real you, out. And Samadhi. Uniting the sacred union of the heart and mind or brain as one. The greatest relationship that you can build is you. So if you're taking the time to build your relationship, I guarantee you your life will never be the same. So listen to the guides within you, whether it's guides or it's you. It's all one thing. Blessings.
Thank you, Michael, for sharing. And at this time, we're in our segment where we're opening up for question and answer from the audience. So if you guys have any questions for these wonderful couple to make clarity or share your experience, now's the time. If no one has questions at the time, I actually do. For Michael, how would you translate this to kind of express or have clarity for our topic being vibration? I mean, many of us will interpret and understand how to connect the dots, but for those who are just new to this realm,
Beautiful question.
you say really connected to our focus on today of vibrational. How does that vibration from within affect the vibration from outside? And
That's a great question. And thank you for asking that, JB, because how can we connect this with vibration? is realizing that what we're seeing on this screen, JB is not in front of us. These are just pixels on a screen. This is vibration interpreted as what we call technology. So for those of us that don't believe, or it's difficult or challenging to believe in vibration, even the speakers that you're listening to, I mean, if you look at the speaker, it's vibrating. These are frequencies being emitted that work on a vibrational level that are interpreted through our vibrational senses. I mean, think about the words that you're hearing. Where are you hearing them? Are you hearing them outside of you? Are you hearing them inside of you? And where is that? And then the things that you're feeling. I mean, where are you feeling that? Are you feeling that outside of you? Are you feeling that inside of you? So if we ask what is vibration, vibration is a subtle form of communication that, as weird as this sounds, because I don't want to go too deep, because I want to keep it for the beginners. Let me take a breath. This is why my wife grounds me. Patty, Rebecca, you guys know I don't want to, you know, if I was speaking Japanese right now, would you be able to comprehend what I'm saying? No. So what is language? What are words? All you would feel is the vibration of the words that I'm saying, but you wouldn't know what they mean. This is why mantras are so powerful, because for people that don't know, it doesn't connect the brain. Like, for example, to best explain it, if I'm telling you to meditate, but I'm talking to you the whole time, you're going to be in your head. But if you listen to different sounds and tonatures of the words of the chant, it's going to get you out of your head and it's going to get you into your heart, because you cannot connect logically what you're listening to. This is why we learn language. This is why we learn words, so we can communicate and comprehend each other on a language level. So vibration is a different communication. It's a different language that the greatest way I can explain it, and if anybody's confused, please let me know. It doesn't matter what language you speak, whether you're in Japan, Africa, Germany, Brazil, or America. If you look at a sunrise and you feel how you feel, you don't need somebody to tell you what that feels like. You don't need to know English. You don't need to know what is Brazilian. I don't know. You need to know Spanish. You don't need to know Japanese or Chinese to know what a sunset feels like. The world is speaking vibration that sometimes language takes away. Because think about this. If you're looking at a sunrise and your partner or your friend is right beside you and says, "Oh my gosh, do you see that beautiful sunrise?" What's going to happen? "Oh man, I was enjoying it." It's a language that doesn't speak words. So what I ask you is, when you look at a tree, are you really looking at a tree? When you're looking at your significant other, are you looking at your significant other? Or are you feeling the language of the heart? Are you feeling the vibrational connection that connects you to everything? Vibration is a different language. That's why I said taking responsibility, meaning the more you take the ability to respond in your life, the more you're going to awaken the senses. And our 5 senses, which is really our 6th sense, which, now that you asked about vibration, is our thought. Our thoughts are our 6th sense. And we've been connected that we think that all we are is our thought bodies. Then when we think all that we are is our thoughts bodies, then we will depend on thought to see who we are. And let me ask the audience a question, JP. Do you obey and idolize your thoughts? Do you worship your thoughts like they're God? Do your thoughts affect you in your life? That's frequency. Vibration is going beyond the thought. Because in order, and to bring this more simplified, if you listen to radio, frequency, right? You change the dial on the radio, right? right? So you change the dial on the radio, and if you listen to gossip radio all day for 7 days, what are you going to start hearing? Gossip, right? If you listen to classical music, what are you going to hear in your world? Classical music. You're going to feel the vibration of classical music, right? The frequency, excuse me. Vibration is not the frequency, vibration is the volume. So if you tune into a frequency, depending if you turn it low, you're not going to hear it. It doesn't mean your subconscious isn't picking it up. Because you can turn something really low where you're not perceiving, you're perceiving what you're hearing. But your subconscious is going to pick it up. And whatever you're listening to, you're going to live. You're going to manifest. So I hope this explains. Frequency is our emotions, our thoughts, right? So where we tune into our frequency is going to tune into the life or the patterns that we're going to experience, right? But when we turn up the volume, that's when we turn up who we are. That's bringing the you, the I, to the world. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now you brought up a memory of an experience I had when I first started massage school many years ago. I don't even remember what year, but I had taken a massage course through Golden West College, and I remember my first lesson from my teacher. She had us go outside and just pull 2 leaves. For example, these leaves right here. So she had me pull off 2 of them and take them home. And the instructions were to one of them, just give it love and give it positivity and, just talk to it, with all this beautiful words. And the other leaf, in a separate room, we had to go and curse at it or say you're not good enough or just ugly words, use ugly words on it. And we see each other weekly, and at the next class we were supposed to take our leaves to show the outcome. And it was a very awakening moment, realizing how the way we speak to ourselves affects you. The leaf that I spoke beautifully to was still vibrant and green, just like the day I picked it off of the tree. And the leaf that I spoke badly and harshly to was shriveled up and black. And so it was, like I said, it was an eye-opening experience, realizing if I'm capable of doing this to a leaf, what am I capable of when I say to myself? And like you said, what does that produce within yourself? So it's a good experiment to realize the power of your words, of the vibration, even when you don't even say it, when you feel it. When, like, say you happen to accidentally drop something, you do this reaction like, you get so angry with yourself, and it's like, but was it necessary? It's like, it's not the end of the world. Yes, I drop it. I could just grab a piece of paper, clean it up, keep going to reserve myself, but we treat it like, I just ruined my day. Now my whole day, I always get a crack up when people say, my day was ruined the minute this happened to me this morning. And I'm like thinking, why? Why would you let that ruin your day? And I'll actually say it out loud sometimes and giggle. And they're like, you're right. That's true. Why did I let that ruin my day? Like, why would you let that ruin your day? Well, it's already passed. Let it go. And so it's just interesting. Like I said, the power of words, the power of thoughts, the power of feelings, the power of just you And it's like you said, we're in a very intelligent being with all this intelligence wrapped into ourselves. And we need to remind ourselves to honor that and be aware that, this functions in a way that we still don't understand till this day. Even modern medicine sometimes doesn't understand why certain things happen, or why is this person suffering from this. It's a knowledge that we haven't been able to tap into fully, but it's there, you know. So
Thank
that's
you,
what I
Rebecca.
wanted to share.
Thank you, Rebecca. And you just reminded me of something as well. And we would say this before, I'm sure most of us that were on a different path, and you walk into a room and you can like cut it with a knife, the vibration that you already sense it. So right now our world is feeling a vibration of fear, a vibration of a lot of, being alone because of the pandemic, of course, right? So in current times right now, if we react to the vibration out there, then we can turn into that leaf that is spoken to harshly and etc. Right? But if we switch the channel within ourselves and we emanate from our vibration from the inside out, then even if it's just one soul a day, maybe a smile, something nice that we can say, a gesture, because remember, our vibration from within affects the world without.
Yes.
And if we're not keen enough to read our own vibration where we sit in it, the vibration from exteriorly can affect us interiorly.
Yes.
So just keep that awareness. And
one
thank
thing,
you.
One thing I do want to share on what you said, love,
I
is because no, you're talking about
Go
something
ahead,
that
Julie.
there's 4 stages of teachability, and I learned this long ago. And those 4 stages of teachability work with everything. One, you are unconscious incompetent, meaning you don't know what you don't know. And then there's conscious, there's the second one, conscious incompetence, meaning you realize that you don't know. That's a good stage to be in, because now you realize you don't know. The next stage is conscious competence. So now you realize that you know. Unconscious competence is where intelligence awakens. It is when you don't have to even think about it. And I mean, think about when you first drove a car. Think about when you first rode a bike. Think about when you first tied your shoes. You had to think every single stage, step. But when you take this practice, like Rebecca was saying, and the guy that said it, the study was Masaru Emoto. He did a study on water. And this guy is incredible. Google him. Rebecca, thank you for sharing that, because you just gave us some homework that we're going to be sharing with our students. That is incredible. And I don't know why I never thought about that. So do you see how, I mean, look how we give to each other. And in actuality, Rebecca, I mean, I highly advise everyone to do that, because when your brain can see that you physiologically affect your reality, well, you can't explain it. Because see, this is the next thing that I want to talk about, is if people are waiting to live a life that they can explain, they're going to live a programmed life. But if they live a life that they can't explain, then you're programming your life. And that's sort of the stage that we're in. So yes, Ali said that a lot of people are confused right now, but let me tell the viewers, there's a lot of people that are like Rebecca, JB, Sterling, Patty, Bara, Dara, and so many people that in our physical world don't listen to the news, don't listen to the media, don't listen to what you're hearing out there, because let me tell you, I've never seen so many people start connecting with each other, collaborating, start working on themselves, start taking responsibility. Because let me tell you, and this is a message that's coming through right now, less than 1% of the world is doing what we call subconscious reprogramming, shadow work, invisible, unconscious work, right? Bringing the unconscious to the conscious. That's what meditation is really designed for, bringing your unconscious self to the conscious and living consciously. So there's a little few people on the planet. I think now we're getting close to 1% because it's maximizing so fast. But less than 1%, listen to this closely, less than 1% are taking responsibility for their life, truly. And look at the effect that we're having in the world. Think about that. Just stop. Because if you think about it, I heard this quote that I want to share. One who is awakened, aware, and conscious is more powerful than millions who are not. I'm going to repeat that again. One who is aware, awakened, conscious, is more powerful than millions who are not. So if you're looking outside of you, then you're getting secondhand information. You're listening to the middleman instead of going to the source. And in my life, listening to the middleman in the world that I used to live got you in trouble. You go to the source, you get the information as it is. And you are the source. You are the source. And let me share with you this. If that is too much to handle right now, then listen to Rebecca, listen to Sterling. Don't listen to them like obey everything that they say. Listen to them and find the guidance of what it tells you within you. Because don't listen to us. We don't know nothing. We're still discovering this, remembering this with every one of you. We remember something every single day, sometimes every single minute, because we're consciously doing this all the time. And that would be too much. I mean, it's not every minute. It's a lot throughout the day. And this is what I wanted to just finish up on my part, because any questions, anybody wants to say anything. But before, my life was like, once in a blue moon would I have a good experience and be like, man, how can I hold on to that? How can I keep that? How can I make that happen again? I need luck. I need luck. I need good luck. I need to find a talisman or something to have good luck. The thing about it is, I live today not waiting for luck, because we've awakened a skill. You are the master, the alchemist, the transformer of your reality. You are the designer of your reality. Don't wait for luck. Don't wait for a blue moon, because you can live your skill every single day. And that is the Vibrillionaire lifestyle. And if you want to know more, get a hold of us, because this is why we teach meditation. If you can't get out of your own way, you're always going to be listening to others that haven't been there and haven't done that. And this is why the world is so confused. We're listening to others because we think they know, but those that know are going to point you back to yourself, like Sterling, like Patty, like JB, like Rebecca, like many others in the world, that before we didn't have this advantage. So like I said earlier, take advantage of the resources, the abundance, the blessings that have been put in front of you. And don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. Message Rebecca. Get coaching. Get mentorship. And it doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you like, oh, well, I don't want to get coaching because the coaches have coaches. We have coaches. We have coaches. Just how you having a coach doesn't make you wrong. It means that you are investing in yourself. And the last takeaway is this, and I promise this is the last takeaway. When you have a business, you get a return on investment, right? If you're not going to get a return on investment, you're not going to invest, right? You are your greatest business. You are the CEO of your business, of your life. What is your ROI in life? Meaning, what is the results that you're getting? Because the results that you're getting is a direct reflection of the investment that you're putting in yourself. So what investments are you investing in your thoughts, in the emotions, in the perspectives, and the beliefs, in the actions, and the habits of your life? Because if you're not getting the results that you want, don't live in sanity. Live in sanity. In sanity, sanity of you. And change your patterns, change your programs, transform yourself. And I guarantee you, your life will never be the same. And we're here to serve.
Addie, you're still on mute.
Okay, I should know that, but I don't use my phone very often. Good morning, sweet morning to everybody. Thank you so much, Michael and Alice and Rebecca and JB, and I see Sterling's here and many of you others. I'm on my phone, so I'm not able to see everything. But I'd like to make a comment or ask a question based on some of the things that I heard this morning and what I heard in the last couple of days. And, you know, we're talking about guides, right? Rebecca and JB, you're offering us information on how to tap into your guides and how to be present with what is here now and the internal and the external. And so I asked the question that are we being guided by the internal voice of reason and discernment, or are we being, because the fear really is external, and we think that it's internal, and because it's really not, I always say, Michael used the analogy earlier, and I'm going to use the one about the car, that in order to run a car, we have to have a battery, right? And so that battery has a positive, negative. So we need both. And discernment is really what is necessary here. And so I say that today is election day. This country, this nation has been building up to this day, with the pandemic, with all the injustice and everything else that's been going on externally. And some of us are experiencing it personally, right? With some of the deaths in families and all of that. So I think that it's very important. Well, I know for myself that it's very important to meditate and be with our guides and to listen to those voices and to be really present with, am I in my cave being silent and quiet while all these other affairs are taking place outside of me? How am I participating is the real question. What am I contributing to this election today? Have I voted? Did I use my right, my obligation, my opportunity, however you want to look at this vote, is did I vote to help make the decision on how I want to see this country to come back in a united way? Because right now it appears and it seems it's divided, right? So a lot of what I'm talking about, and it's very early for me, and a lot of what I'm talking about is what are we seeing for sure, and what seems or appears to be real. Am I more comfortable in my cave, or am I okay going outside and being a part of, not a part separate, but being a part with the community? Which side am I voting for? And there are many sides to vote for, but which side is really going to help this country unite? And so there's a lot of questions that I'm putting out here, and who are we really listening to? And it's important to listen to media and information from news sources, as long as those sources are valid, or as long as those sources are offering news versus entertainment. And because there's many sources out there, and I mean, I've been through a lot of what's going on today, and I watched and listened. We only had the radio back in the day. We only had the radio as our guide, our external guide, right, for what was happening in the country. And so I remember as a child sitting around with my parents and my grandparents and great grandparents. Everyone's sitting there listening to what is next. We're at a critical point in our life, all of us, each of us individually and also collectively. And so I bring this information only because I kept listening to some information and my guides, who is myself. When I listen to a guide, I have many guides that come and many that I've channeled. I don't label each one and say, oh, Kuan Yin just said to say this, or my guide said to say this, or this guide said to do this. What I do is I receive the information and I allow it to come into my field, and I listen to it, and then I use discernment, and then I take full responsibility and hold myself accountable for what I'm going to share out there. And I think it's very important when we talk about guides, and remember, this is my perspective, and I love, I heard you mention, Alice, I love when you mentioned the Maze Poppins, because I know that was a huge part of your awakening into this next realm that you stepped into. And that is, your confidence, and that is that I can listen to my own voice, and I can speak my voice. I can use my voice to help me be interdependent with the rest of the world. And I'm just allowing the information to flow through based on some of the things I heard and what I felt. I used discernment to share the information. That our guides are here to offer information, and we as individuals are responsible for how we're going to use that information and how we're going to relay that information and what we're going to do with that information, taking full responsibility and holding yourself accountable again. And it doesn't matter where that information comes from. I mean, it could come from the Dalai Lama. I know the Dalai Lama. I know stories about the Dalai Lama from real sources that I trust and believe that aren't so pretty and aren't so great. And yet at the same time, the Dalai Lama, I honor the Dalai Lama. I have a picture of him on my vision board here. And so all of us come with that positive, negative energy or frequency or vibration, because it's what we are. And so anyhow, I'll pause there because I obviously it wanted to be said, and I just ask you to be discerning and take full responsibility and hold yourself accountable, that the guides are only here to offer information
Yeah.
to help you along your way.
Let me
I
just
wanted to share something real quick.
hold
We
on.
have we're on time, Michael.
Rebecca,
I got-
go ahead, Rebecca. I think I heard you.
Yeah, I just have to close it because it's about to be 8:30, and then we'll continue the talk. You guys, everyone is welcome to stay on Zoom. We will still continue till 9 a.m. to be on Zoom, but we are going to be getting off the live Facebook.
Oh, we're still live.
Yes, and so that's a great thing. You're talking about how are we going to communicate, and we're actually closing with our throat chakra. So day 1 we did crown, day 2 we did our third eye, and today it's about our throat chakra. How do we communicate clearly our messages and make sure that it's delivered in a way that is clear, without judgment, without just with unconditional love. Okay? So I want everyone to take this time, visualize your beautiful crown that we had opened on day 1, turning clockwise, connecting you to your higher source. Also visualize your little pearls around your forehead and going all the way around your skull. Activate those. Activate your third eye, just shooting just right through your skull, right here, from the back through the front, turning clockwise, this beautiful violet light. And now on your throat, visualize this beautiful blue, vibrant color, turning clockwise, clearing up anything that you have said or haven't said yet, that it comes out clear and removes anything that does not belong there. Take a couple of deep breaths and take in that vibration. I heard a lot of the vibration going in different ways, becoming loud and silent, and then kind of like it was a very interesting combination of vibrations. Even though it was all coming from one bowl, it was doing different sounds at the same time. So take that information about how we need to communicate. There was a moment where the bowl became silent and then it started speaking again. So yes, when we communicate, there are moments where we need to speak up. There are moments to stay silent. And it's not to stay silent to like retreat like in a cave, but just stay silent to be able to clear what you're about to say and take that moment. So with that, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Again, if you're welcome to stay on Zoom, we will be continuing this a little bit of a private session till 9. And I hope to see everyone tomorrow for day 4 at 7 a.m. Thank you.
Those on Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. Please invite your other friends, your healers, curious to learn more to the Healers Roundtable. Those who joined us from Meetup, please join us in the Healer Roundtable to have instant access to the recordings. Until next time, remember to stay healthy and breathe intentionally.